All right, so are you ready to dive into something kind of crazy?
Yeah.
We're talking going from broke to making over $41 million.
Oh, wow.
It's a wild story that Myron Golden lays out in his YouTube series, How to Get Rich, starting from $0.
Okay.
And before you think, oh no, not another one of these get-rich-quick things.
Texas, tomorrow and Saturday. He loaned me $4,000 a month, all of 2013, all of 2014, while I was figuring out how to get back on my feet after getting the absolute wind knocked out of me.
But Golden's approach is, it's actually pretty different.
Interesting.
Yes, we're going to break down why.
Yeah, what's so interesting about Golden is that he doesn't try to hide his past struggles at all.
Right.
You know, hearing him talk about being in debt just a decade ago, even needing to borrow money to just get by, it makes his success that much more impressive.
You're totally right.
Like a true underdog story. And those are always the best ones.
They are. And he doesn't sugarcoat anything.
Nope.
Just 10 years ago, serious financial hardship. And now look at him.
Yeah.
Between 2020 and 2024, he generated over $41 million.
It's incredible.
You got to wonder, what's the secret? How did he turn things around like that?
Well, he credits what he calls the power to get wealth. Uh-huh.
And it's a combination of different factors that he thinks are essential for financial success.
I like it.
And one of the most interesting, maybe even surprising parts of it is what he calls the power of pain.
The power of pain. Yeah. Now, this is where things get interesting.
Right.
Because he's actually saying that a lack of pain, things like financial struggle or even setbacks, that can really hold you back from real wealth.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it sounds kind of counterintuitive at first, but
it does.
When you think about it, sometimes we need that push.
We do.
You know, to really get us going.
Yeah, that fire lit under us.
Exactly.
It's a good way to put it.
And, you know, Golden's own life, it really shows this.
Oh, yeah.
He talks about having his utilities disconnected and even needing to rely on welfare for a while.
Wow.
And obviously those were really difficult experiences.
Of course.
But he says they're a big part of why he became so determined to build a better life.
It's like it gave him that grit.
Yeah.
You know, that resilience to succeed. Like, those tough times, they kind of forced him to look at everything and decide, you know, I'm not settling for this.
Right.
But it wasn't just those external struggles, though, right?
No, not at all.
He talks about internal pain, too. Things like having to really look at himself and relationships being tough and dealing with rejection.
Yeah, and, you know, I think that's something we can all think about. What are those pain points in our own lives?
Yeah.
What are those things that have pushed us to grow and learn?
Exactly.
You know, maybe it's something at work that didn't go well, or a personal challenge, or even a fear that we have to get over.
Right.
It's often in those hard times that we actually grow the most.
That's a good point.
Isn't it?
So pain, all kinds of pain. It's a key part of Golden's whole philosophy.
Yeah.
But he doesn't just stop there.
Oh, no.
He says that to build real wealth, you need something else too.
What's that?
A strong sense of purpose.
Okay.
And he's very clear that he's not talking about some vague idea of purpose.
Right.
It's very practical, very grounded. It's about figuring out what you're good at and what you're passionate about.
Okay.
Like where your skills and what you love, they meet.
It's that sweet spot.
Yes.
I like that.
In Golden's own story, it's a great example of this.
Oh, how so?
Well, he loved teaching the Bible, but he also really understood business.
Interesting.
So we put those two together, kind of unique niche, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It wasn't the usual path, but it really connected with people.
And that different approach, that's what got him some amazing opportunities.
Exactly.
Who would have thought that teaching business using the Bible would lead to him speaking at Funnel Hacking Live?
I know, right?
Sometimes those unusual combinations lead to the biggest breakthroughs.
It's so true.
I think so.
And it's funny, he even talks about how people were telling him to do these weekly webinars.
Oh, yeah, that's like the standard advice.
Right. But he knew it just didn't fit with how he wanted to teach and connect with people.
He knew himself.
Yeah, he really trusted his gut.
And it paid off.
It really did.
That's a good reminder for all of us, I think.
Yeah.
To really think about what we're good at and what we love.
Yeah.
What comes naturally and what gets us excited, you know?
Yeah.
Those are clues to where our purpose might be.
And maybe where we can have the biggest impact.
Right, and maybe even build wealth.
Okay, so you've got that pain pushing you and your purpose guiding you.
Yeah.
What's next?
Good question.
Golden says it's time to develop and deploy.
Develop and deploy.
So once you've figured out your purpose, then you work on the skills you need to make it real, and then you got to actually use them.
No more dreaming.
Right. It's time for action.
Action, yeah.
Like, think about training to be an athlete.
Okay.
You don't just show up at the Olympics without putting in the time, right?
You got to put in the work.
Years of it.
Years of it.
And it's the same for anything you want to do.
I think so.
Golden says even though he knew a lot about his area, he still struggled at first.
Interesting.
He had to refine his approach
Uh-huh.
and get better at communicating his ideas and figure out how to actually make it in the business world.
Yeah.
It's all about putting in the work, constantly trying to get better. So he had to refine things too. He didn't just magically have it all figured out.
No, we all go through that.
And the next part of his power to get wealth is about understanding how the world works.
I like that.
He calls it the power of perception.
Power of perception.
I'm listening.
Yeah. So perception here, it's more than just seeing things, right?
I think so.
It's about understanding how things work, both in the world around us and inside of us.
Interesting.
Golden talks a lot about understanding these basic principles, things like the law of sowing and reaping.
Oh, the law of sowing and reaping.
Which basically means what you put out into the world will eventually come back to you.
Karma.
Well, he doesn't go too deep into it in this particular video, but I'm curious to hear more about that later.
Oh yeah, me too. It's a fascinating concept.
It is. You can apply it to so many areas of life, personal relationships, or even business ventures.
I can see that.
But I think the key takeaway for now is that Golden believes there's a link between our actions and what happens to us.
Cause and effect.
Exactly. And to be successful, we need to understand these deeper principles and how they affect our lives.
So it's not just working hard, it's working smart.
You got it.
Understanding the rules of the game.
Right.
And a big part of that is understanding people, right?
People, yeah.
Knowing what they want, what they need, their problems.
That's huge.
Golden talks about this when he's talking about selling his products and services.
Oh, yeah.
He uses this really interesting example of selling a book.
Okay, I like analogies.
He says instead of just talking about the book itself, you should focus on how the reader will change after reading it.
Interesting.
Like, what problems will it solve for them? What will they learn?
Okay.
What positive changes will they see in their lives?
So it's about understanding the value that you're providing and communicating that to people.
I love that it's not about pushing the product.
No.
It's about connecting with your audience.
Yeah.
And showing them how you can help them.
I like that a lot.
And that seems to be a big theme in all of Golden's powers. This idea of understanding how things really work.
Deep down.
Yeah.
I see that.
Whether it's inside ourselves or out in the world.
And that brings us to his next power, which is all about timing.
Timing. Okay.
And recognizing opportunity when it comes knocking.
Like being in the right place at the right time.
Kinda. He calls it the power of precision.
The power of precision, we got the pain, the purpose, the perception.
And now precision.
What does he mean by that?
So it's about being ready to jump on those opportunities when they show up. Even if they come out of nowhere or when you least expect them.
Makes sense.
Golden tells a story about getting advice from this other successful entrepreneur,
Okay.
Dean Smith, back in 2011. And Smith told him, you gotta take your teaching online.
Makes sense.
But Golden didn't do it for almost 10 years.
Wow, what a missed opportunity. It makes you think, what could have happened?
I know, right?
But then again, maybe things happen for a reason.
Could be.
Because there was a major turning point in Golden's career.
Oh, yeah. What happened?
A few years later, the pandemic hit.
Pandemic, yeah.
And suddenly, everything changed.
It changed everything for a lot of people.
It did.
So how did that affect him?
So the pandemic forced him to change his business and take everything online.
Wow, a big shift.
And guess what?
What?
It was huge success.
Right.
It pushed him into a space he might have resisted otherwise.
Right, he wasn't sure about it before.
But in the end, it led to incredible growth.
It's amazing how sometimes those external things, even the tough ones, can push us in directions we wouldn't have chosen ourselves.
That's a good point.
But if we've already put in the work, developed our skills, figured out our purpose, and cultivated that power of perception, we're in a much better place to make the most of those unexpected changes.
So even though he missed that initial opportunity, the pandemic kind of forced him into action. He was ready.
Right.
But what if he hadn't already developed those other powers?
Yeah.
The pain, the purpose, the perception. Would he have been able to take advantage of that sudden shift?
You know, that's a really great question.
It is.
And it shows how all these different elements work together.
Yeah.
He had the pain of his past driving him, the purpose of his teaching, fueling his passion,
Right.
the perception to see the value he offered, and then finally the precision to seize the moment when the opportunity came up.
It's like all those years of preparing, even with the setbacks and missed opportunities, they were leading him to that point.
It's like all those pieces of the puzzle finally came together.
He did.
But the story doesn't end there.
Oh, no.
There's more.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
He actually talks about 4 more powers in his videos that he thinks are essential for creating and keeping wealth.
Wow. 4 more.
And these next ones, they go even deeper into the psychological and spiritual sides of success.
All right, now I'm really hooked.
I knew you would be.
I can't wait to hear what those other powers are.
Well, we'll have to save that for next time.
Okay, fine. But before we move on, let's take a second to think about what we've learned so far.
All right, yeah, good idea.
We've covered a lot.
We have.
We've talked about embracing those pain points as a way to grow, figuring out our purpose as a guiding force, developing a sharp sense of perception to see opportunities, and then being ready to take those opportunities when they come up.
Like having all the tools in your toolbox.
Exactly.
Right.
And you've been talking about how creating true wealth, it's about so much more than just money, right?
Absolutely.
It's about personal growth. It's about making sure what you do matches your values.
Yeah.
And it's about creating a life that has meaning and impact.
Exactly. And I think Golden's story really shows that he's not just telling people how to make money, he's showing them how to build a life they love.
A good life.
A life that feels right for them and lets them contribute to the world.
I like that.
And he's doing it in a way that's both inspiring and easy to understand.
He is.
You know, he's not afraid to show his vulnerable side, to talk about his struggles,
Right.
and to show people that success isn't always a straight line. It's often messy and full of surprises.
Yeah, definitely not a straight line.
And, you know, that makes his story all the more relatable and inspiring for those of us who are still on our own journeys.
So true.
It gives us permission to accept our imperfections, to learn from our mistakes, and to keep moving forward even when things are tough.
Yeah. And as we get ready for part 3 of this deep dive,
Oh yeah, there's more.
where Golden reveals those final 4 powers,
I can't wait.
I'm really curious to hear what other insights he has.
Me too.
What are those psychological and spiritual principles that can help us unlock our full potential and create a life of abundance?
Yeah, what are they?
Well, that's what we're about to find out.
I'm ready.
And I have a feeling it's going to be a fascinating journey.
Me too. It always is.
So to our listeners, stick with us. We're about to go even deeper into the world of Myron Golden and his unique way of thinking about wealth creation.
Let's do it. So, you know, picking up where we left off, you were talking about the law of sowing and reaping.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds kind of spiritual, but I have a feeling he's using it in a more practical way.
You're right. It's not about like karma or anything mystical.
Okay.
It's more about understanding that your actions have consequences. The energy and effort you put into something, that determines what you get out of it.
Makes sense.
Think of it like a garden.
Okay.
If you plant good seeds, take care of them, you'll get a great harvest.
So it's about making good choices, putting in the work, and trusting that it'll lead to good things.
Exactly, whether it's in your business, relationships, or even personal growth.
And this ties back to what we were talking about before, perception. It's about seeing those opportunities to sow,
Right.
to invest your time and energy in things that align with your purpose and have potential for growth.
It's not just throwing things out there and hoping for the best.
Right, you got to be strategic,
Exactly.
planting those seeds in the right places,
Exactly.
knowing they'll grow into something good.
And that strategic thinking, it applies to everything.
Yeah,
From your career to your relationships.
it's about making those choices that move you closer to your goals.
That's it.
And Golden also talks about timing, being ready when those opportunities show up.
Yeah, the power of precision.
Like they say, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
Perfect. Golden actually tells a story about this.
Oh, yeah.
He got advice from another successful entrepreneur,
Okay.
Dean Smith, way back in 2011.
Right.
Smith told him, take your teaching online.
Seems like good advice.
But Golden didn't do it right away.
Really?
It took him almost 10 years to actually go for it.
That's got to be frustrating looking back. You know, he could have started building his online presence so much earlier.
I know, but sometimes it takes a while to see the right moment.
Or to really commit to an idea.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about why he waited.
Yeah,
Maybe he wasn't confident about teaching online,
Could be.
or maybe he was comfortable with how his business was already working.
Or maybe he just didn't see how big online could be.
It's possible.
It's like he had everything he needed to succeed.
Uh-huh.
The knowledge, the passion, the drive.
But the timing was off.
Yeah, he needed something to push him out of his comfort zone.
To show him that the opportunity was right there.
And then the pandemic happened.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that changed things.
It forced his hand. He had to adapt, and he had to do it fast.
In-person events were done.
Right. He had to find a way to connect with people online.
And what happened?
And he totally crushed it.
No way.
He went all in on building his online presence, doing virtual events, and really refining his message for a digital audience.
And his business exploded.
It did.
It's crazy how sometimes those tough things, even a pandemic, can push us in directions we never expected.
It's true.
But if we've done the work, prepared ourselves, yeah, we're much better at using those unexpected changes to our advantage.
So even though he missed that first opportunity, the pandemic forced him into action, and he was ready.
And it worked out.
Golden's story shows how connected all these powers are.
It does.
The pain of his past pushed him. The purpose of his teaching fueled him.
Right.
He had the perception to see the value he offered, and then that precision to grab the opportunity when it appeared.
It all came together.
It really did. But it doesn't stop there.
There's more.
Oh no, tell me.
He actually talks about 4 more powers in his videos that he thinks are crucial for creating and keeping wealth.
Oh wow, I can't wait to hear about them.
They go even deeper into the psychology and spirituality of success.
Now I'm really intrigued. All right, before we get to those, let's think about what we've learned.
Good idea. We've covered a lot.
We talked about embracing those tough times as chances to grow, figuring out our purpose, seeing opportunities, and then being prepared to take action.
It's like having all the right tools and knowing how to use them.
Exactly. And you've been saying that real wealth, it's more than just money.
So much more.
It's about personal growth, living your values, and making a difference.
And I think Golden's story really shows that.
Yeah, he's not just about teaching people to make money.
Right.
He's about helping them build a life they love, a life that feels right, and allows them to contribute to the world.
I love that.
And he does it in a way that's both inspiring and easy to grasp.
He's not afraid to be real, to talk about his struggles, and show that success isn't always a smooth ride.
It's messy, full of twists and turns.
And that's what makes his story so relatable and inspiring.
Especially for those of us still figuring things out.
It tells us it's okay to not be perfect, to learn from our mistakes, and to keep going even when it's hard.
So true. So as we head into part 3,
oh yeah, the final part,
where Golden reveals his last 4 powers.
I can't wait.
What other insights does he have to offer? What are those deeper psychological and spiritual things that can help us unlock our potential and live a life of abundance?
Great questions.
Well, I guess we're about to find out.
Let's go.
To our listeners, stick around. We're about to go deeper into the world of Myron Golden and his unique approach to wealth. Okay, so we're back, ready to uncover those final 4 powers.
Yeah, the mystery unfolds.
I'm really interested to see how he connects this psychology and spirituality stuff to actually building a business or achieving financial freedom.
Well, he starts with what he calls the power of passion.
The power of passion, okay.
And it's not just about doing what you love,
right,
although that's part of it.
Sure.
He's talking about tapping into this deeper level of energy, this drive that fuels you and keeps you moving forward.
It's interesting because he talks about passion as this force that can overcome obstacles and even create opportunities.
Yeah.
Like it's a fire inside you.
Keeping you going.
Yeah, giving you the energy to keep going when things get tough.
It's powerful.
But how do you find that passion if you don't feel it already? Can you even create it?
Well, Golden thinks passion is often connected to your purpose.
To making a difference.
Right, so that desire to contribute something meaningful.
Okay.
When you're really in tune with your purpose, the passion often comes naturally.
So it's about finding what you're good at and what you love and what the world needs all come together.
Exactly.
And when you find that spot, the passion ignites.
And the work doesn't feel like work anymore.
Right, it becomes this driving force.
Fueling your creativity and helping you overcome those challenges.
And Golden says this kind of passion is contagious.
Oh yeah, it inspires others.
It draws people in.
Attracts those opportunities.
But passion by itself isn't enough, is it?
No. You need a plan.
A way to use that energy.
And that's where his next power comes in. The power of productivity.
Okay, productivity.
This is where it gets down to business, really practical. It's all about systems and habits that support your goals.
So organization, maximizing your time.
Yeah, getting rid of distractions and focusing on the things that get you results.
Working smarter, not just harder.
Exactly.
Being intentional with your time and energy.
Setting goals, prioritizing, building habits that move you towards what you want.
He even talks about having a productivity mindset.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Approaching your work with focus and urgency.
No more procrastinating.
Just get it done.
Get it done. I like that.
And then there's this idea of momentum.
Oh, yeah, momentum.
Once you start taking action and seeing results, it creates this positive cycle that pushes you forward.
It's like a snowball effect.
But what happens when you hit a wall? When things don't work out?
That's where you need the power of perseverance.
Perseverance, okay.
This one is all about resilience, grit.
Bouncing back.
Knowing that challenges will come, but they don't have to stop you.
It's about believing in yourself and your vision.
Even when you hit those obstacles.
Golden talks about learning from your mistakes.
And adjusting your approach.
Keeping moving forward, even when it's tough.
He actually encourages people to see challenges as opportunities for growth.
Like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Exactly.
So it's about changing how you look at things, seeing those challenges as tests.
Stepping stones.
Yeah, stepping stones on the path to success.
But it's also about knowing when to ask for help.
Right. Reaching out to your network, finding mentors.
Collaborating with people who can support you.
And that leads us to Golden's final power.
The grand finale.
The power of people.
People, yeah.
It's about relationships, your network, working with people who share your vision.
Or who have skills that can help you.
It's recognizing you don't have to do it all yourself.
Right. Having the right people around you can make all the difference.
Mentors, partners, supporters, they can help you achieve so much more.
Golden talks a lot about the importance of mentorship.
Learning from those who have already done what you're trying to do.
He also emphasizes building a supportive community.
People who believe in you, encourage you, and challenge you to grow.
It's powerful stuff.
This whole framework is so much more than I thought it would be.
It really is.
It's not just about money or business tactics.
It's about personal growth, mindset, resilience, relationships.
It's about creating a life of abundance.
In all areas of your life.
And I think that's what makes Golden's approach so powerful.
It resonates with people.
He's not just teaching people how to make money. He's teaching them how to create a life of meaning.
A life with purpose.
It's about tapping into your motivation, developing a strong work ethic, building resilience, and surrounding yourself with the right people.
It's about becoming the best version of yourself so you can create the life you truly want.
And as we wrap up this deep dive into Myron Golden's power to get wealth.
It's been quite a journey.
What's resonating with you?
Yeah, what's one thing you can take away from this and apply to your own life or business?
It's something to think about, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights with us on social media using #TheDeepDive.
We love hearing from you.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep believing in your power to create a life you love.